So, a very good evening to all of you, our viewers on newskarnataka.com, our NKTV channel. Uh, this is a very important show that we are doing tonight, a show that has got a lot of implications for the students of the future because it's about education, higher education, and the policies behind it. I'm not too sure how many of you know, in accordance with the National Education Policy, and as per the recommendations of a task force of the state government, it set up a higher education council. The idea of setting up this higher education council was to promote academic excellence and social justice by obtaining academic input for policy formulation and perspective planning, ensuring autonomy and better accountability of all institutions of higher education in the state, guiding the growth of higher education in accordance with the socio-economic requirement of the state. And on the basis of these three objectives, on 15th July 2009, the state government set up the Higher Education Council. Now, this particular Higher Education Council has been functioning since 2009. But as you know, life evolves, society evolves, the needs of society evolve, governments change, and therefore the educational priorities also change. Now, to reassess whatever the council has been doing and how to move forward and make our education system in Karnataka more vibrant and more useful for students across the state and those who come from other states or from other countries to study in our state, they have set up task forces, 17 of them special task forces to specially address the future of education, higher education in Karnataka. They are supposed all these 17 task forces are required to submit their reports by mid-June. The task forces were set up by notification on the 15th of March of this year, 2024. And by mid-June, that means they are already in process. They have to submit a report, and all the reports will be collated and then submitted to the state government. After that, there will be deliberations, obviously, and the future of education is definitely going to be in good hands. Because on one of the task forces, a very crucial task forces, is Father Francis Almeida. Now, personally, also, I know him as an educationist, as a member of the Jesuit community, and the former vice principal of St. Aloysius College, which is now indeed a university. Welcome to the show, Father Francis.
Thank you.
The Almeida.
Thank you.
And we are happy to have you and your perspective on these task forces and the future of education in Karnataka. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. Father Francis Almeida is a beacon of expertise. He was the vice principal of St. Aloysius College, and now it's, of course, a university. And initially, he was ordained as a priest on May 1st, 1989. But with so many years of experience in education, he brings a lot to the task force and a lot to education in Karnataka. But I'm not going to go into details of what actually he has done because I'm going to talk to him about his perspectives. And through those discussions, we'll come to know how deep is his knowledge of the subject of education. So, Father Francis, can you just tell us a little bit about this task force? It was notified on 15th of March 2024, and you were named as one of the 12 members of a specific task force, which is very important, one part of the 17 task forces, which is going to focus on a few things. What are they going to focus on, your particular task force? And what do you think can be your contribution to this task force?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Brian, and the whole News Karnataka team for calling me for this interview. How did it happen that my name could come in this committee? 1 month ago, when I was in Dharwad, I got a call from Higher Education Council. One of the persons who talked to me and said, your name is being suggested to be the member of task force committee for higher education revamping in our state. Because there are a lot of problems with regard to NEP, and state government is following SEP from this year. I hope they will follow this year. Now, I said immediately, I don't know why you are contacting me, because I don't know how much. I was not a principal of a big college. I was being the principal of St. Joseph Evening College, PUC College. Then recently I opened a college in Bannerghatta Road of the Society of Jesus, of course, and it was Loyola Degree College. There I learnt a lot because it was basically meant for the poor people. 99% of students were poor in that college, and I was able to collect 47 lakhs of rupees in 5 years to give scholarship to all these people, because everyone should get the ability and also chance to continue their studies in higher education, whether it is normal BA BCom subjects, UG studies, PG studies, or engineering, medical, whatever it is. Everyone should get the chance. And in our country, as far as we know, there are only 30% of the people who are going to higher education. Therefore, I accepted this task. I felt very happy. And when I was in the retreat on the penultimate day of the retreat, that is 19th of March, once again several calls were there because I was in the church service. So coming back to my room after having lunch, again the call was there. Then I immediately said, yes, I'm ready to become a member of this committee, provided my provincial gives me permission. Within 3-4 days, he gave me the permission to be the member, and I'm here.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, and especially your concern for the fact that students from the not so privileged classes, let me say, in terms of money and possibly access, can perhaps then benefit from this task force, because this particular task force, which you are a member of, is required to focus on the structure of educational institutions, educational attainment, the dropout rates, retention, transitions, and socio-economic inequalities, exactly which you have a lot of experience in, especially during your time as the founder, let me say, the founder member of the Loyola College in Bangalore. So, what I want to ask you specifically now is just to tell us your thoughts. I mean, these are not going to be a part of the task force deliberations, perhaps, but from your experience on each of these areas, like for instance, the structure of educational institutions, educational attainment, the dropout rates. I'm sure you have a lot of experience of the reasons for that,
Yeah,
retention and transitions. Please, can you just elaborate a little bit on each of these, if it's possible?
yeah. All along in my last 33 years of being in the educational field, I have had these problems of dropouts and accessibility to the vast majority of people. And my aim was at that time, especially when I was in St. Joseph's Evening College, to reach out to the last, least, and the lost. That was the idea. And we used to get students from a vicinity, from uh, Vivekanagara side, lot of people. But due to their financial background, most of the time 10 to 15% of the people used to drop out. Even when I was in Nagaland, that dropout rate was very high. So I did make a study with regard to why this dropout. Basically, it is because of the economic structure. Secondly, in the families, there is no one who has studied. They are all the first time learners. Therefore, there is no support backing from the family. If the rich family is there, there is a backing from the community or family, but it is not there here. And for example, when I was in the PUC college, uh, what is that dropout rate was very little, because they were all coming from affluent families. But when it happens to the evening college, or when it happens to St. Joseph's College, now presently university, and also the Loyola Degree College, I found dropout rates are quite high. Sometimes 10%, 15%, even 20%. So how to checkmate that one is very important for us. Now, therefore, we have to have structures. See, I'm not asking Robin Hood style. Not, I'm not saying that. But my feeling is charge the rich and help the poor by scholarship. Now, for example, a lot of my relations have gone to United States. They are not rich people. They have been supported by scholarship, and at the same time they do part-time work and finish their studies. Therefore, we have to have this structure here in India. Therefore, there is no need to start the class at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Start the class at 7 o'clock. Finish it by 12 o'clock so that they can go for work and get some money for their studies. Similarly, each of the colleges, whether the college is government college or private aided college, they must have a scholarship fund by which they can support the children. This is what I did in Loyola Degree College, and 5 years in the 1 year in the first year, I had 145 students. When I finished 5 years and came out of the college, there were 525 students. I could ask permission for 100 for 220 students in commerce, and I got 214 students. Therefore, I would like to say it is only by giving support to the students, children, we can attain what we want to attain. And coming to the retention here is of teachers. Teachers are, trying to go. It's a teaching is a sometimes is a stepping stone for them. Where they get higher salary, they will run. But some of the colleges, though they charge heavily, they don't pay the teachers. One big example is St. Joseph's University. Today, St. Joseph's University pays highest salary in the whole of Karnataka. Why I am saying that? Because it's a private university, but private public partnership, but it is a private for basically it's a private university. The teachers are paid highly. There is a system called API. Whatever task they do in the college, not only teaching, but also other tasks, everything is counted for their benefit, and that's how they are paid. And therefore, the staff have got feeling that we belong to the college, we belong to the institution, and they work for it. So this is about retention of the staff. Then equity. Everyone has a right, not only for education, of course, right to education is there up to 10th standard for every child up to the age of 14. But every child has a right to go for higher education. You know how many of them go for higher education after their QC? In Karnataka, the rate is very high, but all over India, it is not even 20%. Our famous former Prime Minister, that is Rajiv Gandhi, had the idea that we should have nearly 60% people, and Rajiv Gandhi died in 1991. Until date, we have not reached that, and we have to work for equity in the sense everyone, especially the rural children, rural boys and girls, should get a chance to study in our best colleges. So therefore, bring them to the mainstream, bring them to main colleges, so that you have a great fund. There is possibility of fund because today everybody is thinking of crowdfunding. We can work for it, and definitely those students who have got benefits of our education, they can support these people.
Okay. But don't you think there is a small problem in the quality of the education that we provide? Now, I'll just give you an example. For
Yeah,
instance, a person completes his PUC. Now, if he's a science student, he thinks of medicine or engineering in either of the IITs or any other of the engineering colleges. And then he comes out of the engineering college and he finds that what he has learned in the engineering college is not really applicable in the real world, is not what they want. What about the degree colleges? BCom, Bachelor of Arts, of course, Bachelor of Science. They've got
thanks.
this. Yeah, but after Bachelor of Science, what do they do? I mean, what are the skills that they have? What
Okay.
kind of skills can they get when they can face the real world? Can have get a job that they can
Yeah,
earn their livelihood. I think that's one of the main challenges. The
yeah. I
structure
would
of the
like to
education
say,
system and institutions.
I would like to say, why
Hmm.
there is a lacuna in the national education policy. The national education policy thinks of the skills developed in terms of yoga and some of the skills which have a value, but not to get a job. Therefore, we have to have skills like, for example, computer skills. BCom students should be given on the spot tally, not they have to go to elsewhere and study tally afterwards. No, they when they come as a finished product, and when they go to the workplace, they know nothing. What they have learned in the colleges has no meaning at all. I know it very well because I have been witness to that. Therefore, what we are trying to do in our education system, especially with regard to Central Research College, Jesuit education system, and some of the education system that are there, give them the skills. Skills for what? Skills for organizing, skills for public speaking, skills for creative thinking, skills for universal ideas, where there's thinking in terms of universal brotherhood, justice, peace. You can have all that. For example, in St. Joseph's University, there is a course called Peace Studies, and that has got highest number of applications. Why? Today the system is such that there is no peace in the world. Therefore, they want to have this skill how to go about creating a situation where people live in harmony. That is the idea. So we only thought of having this course, and now it is picked up in many of the colleges in Karnataka as well as in India. And one of the basic idea is give them the skills for their life. That is what is lacking today in our education, especially in higher education system. See, many students, what are they doing after their classes? They are just roaming about in the corridors of the colleges or in the grounds, sitting and having chatting, and many of them busy with the computer, with the mobile computer. Only few people will come forward and think of the nation and discuss about the nation. I remember when I was doing my MA in Mangalore University, we had a think tank in the university, which created a lot of issues. For example, we were able to organize program on Shah Banu's case. Why Shah Banu's case? And also, when I was in Nagaland, we took up the issue of underground system. Underground system. Why underground? What is the reason? Why they are not getting the proper benefits? Why they are not getting justice? All these we used to sit together and discuss. That culture has to be created, and that culture is not there. What is the culture today? Dance culture, pop music, pop dance, and also there are a lot of things like flash mob. Flash mobs has got a value actually. I know flash mobs gives a lot of idea. Even the street theater, for example, St. Joseph's students, they have street theater. Sheshadripuram College students, they have street theater, and St. Joseph's Evening College had street theater. Street theater is very good to create an awareness among the people. And some of our students have gone around and created awareness with the election with regard to environment, how to protect the environment, all this. And these are all the skills needed for a student. Yeah, for a student, it is not necessary that he studies physics, chemistry. That can be possible otherwise also. But what is important is how to build the skills so that you will have good living. Those who acquired skill, they are doing wonderful, I tell you, wonderful in society. I know large number of them who are doing wonderful in society. Those who have no skill, I have met several of them when I was going by the auto, because nowadays I cannot travel by two-wheeler because I have health issues. When I traveled in the autos, I found engineering students are driving autos. But one student has said, I got engineering skill that today I have a fleet of cars. Look at that. This is what is called. This is what is called management. And that guy is doing MBA now after engineering. There are MBA students also are there. From Tumkur, for example, I met so many of them. They are MBA students because there were no skills over there. They are now ordinary car drivers and all. That should not happen. That should not happen. Even if you have a car driver, you should organize in such a way that you have to have a fleet of cars with you. Now, this is how you have to create a system. And I think for this purpose, we have this committee, and definitely will work for it, I would say.
Yeah, coming back to that same point, I was just trying to ask you on the structure of education institutions. You mentioned earlier that it should be 9 to 12, and then they work outside. one thing is maybe to earn money and fund their education, but the other thing, I think it's important that there are two parts to education. One is uh, you look for a job after you complete your education. The other is you are well prepared to set up your own enterprise, whether it is as a
Yes.
fleet of cars, whether it's a fleet of autos, or any other system that you want to enter into. If you have that entrepreneurial mindset, I think that is some focus that perhaps the task force can look at, because that's, I think, the way forward, because employment by itself is shrinking.
Yeah, yeah. See, many a times I've organized programs in the colleges by bringing so many industries people, especially the CEOs of companies and varieties of people you have brought. What they say is, your finished product from the college has no have no skills. Example, I was given an example by one of the CEOs. Now let us see. There is a pile of files here on the table. Now one of the interviewers asked the boy who came for the interview, "How will you pick up the last file?" Then he said, "It is easy." He held the five files and pulled the last file. What happened? The entire file fell down. Another one asked, who never came for the same time in the interview, another one asked, "How will you remove this last file?" Then she said, "I'll pick up each of the files one by one, keep them aside, and give the last file to the person who asked me. Then afterwards, again, I file out each one by one, and make the file again." Now, this is the skill. This is what many people lack. You understand, no? Now, see, for
Yes.
example, I am not computer savvy. I'm not computer savvy. I know nothing about accounts. Nothing. I went to Nagaland. I was a financial administrator. I was vice. I was teaching 18 hours. Sometimes when teacher was absent, I was going to the class. And sometimes when it rained, we used to have singing practice. Why? It was a tint room. So we have to be very creative in this whole system. Very many staff are not creative. They are intellectually very good, but they are not creative. That is what we require today. Then retention will not have the retention will not happen. So that dropout by the colleges or going to other places by the staff doesn't happen. So you also must pay the staff well. Okay, you must pay the staff well. If you are charging, let's say there are so many private colleges, private universities are there. They charge heavily, but they don't give the staff a good salary. They only extract work from them, but they never give you good salary. What happens to those teachers? They will jump from one place to the one place, and they have no commitment when they do like that. If a person remains forever in that institution, there is commitment, there is finality. Example: those of the people who had aided staff in our colleges, many colleges, not only ours, many colleges either run by Christian minorities, Muslim minorities, or other community people. There, they have long innings in the college, and they have long vast experience. That's why students flock to those colleges, and this should happen. This should happen, and this is what we have to work towards. This is my humble request. At the same time, we will be working in the committee. How to do that? How to work out? What are the skills that are needed? Not the world kind of skills list. I mentioned that with you. Yoga. Yoga can be learned outside. Many of the people are learning yoga outside. I see in Dharwad every morning when I go for walk, there are hundreds of students coming out with yoga classes. They can be given there. They don't have to stress your mind on that. And some of the skill development things that are mentioned in the NEP are useless. I'm telling you, useless. They are talking about proton. What is it called? Proton, something. Oh, Fortran. That kind of computer
Fortran.
language.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very old.
they are not very old. They are not talking about latest C++, C and all. Nothing they talk about it. This is the thing that is to be given. And important factor here is, look, actually, uh, computer application is very important. Many colleges do not have computers. They have computers, but no computer application. Application is very important because you can prepare your own videos. You can prepare. You can even make a film, short film, and you can also make a bigger film. Also, I have a mobile which is iPhone 13 Pro, and in this mobile, our students here in Dharwad, Jesuit students in Dharwad, so many times they have prepared small films. This is possible. This is possible, and many of our students do prepare them, and they have been contesting in various competitions too. Therefore, skill is very important. I would say, don't give the old skills. That is what happens. You are giving new wine in the old skills. That will not help. That will not help.
Yeah. There's one question I'd like to ask you further. Because you're an educationist, now you're a member of this task force, and you will be meeting all the important influencers in the system of education in Karnataka. I think a lot of the students, especially after PUC, now with the NEP in place, and now they want to change that. The 3 years, 4 years, 1 year of post graduation, 2 years of post graduation, cancellation of MPhil. I think there's a lot of confusion in the minds of students. They're not clear how they should go about it. Every year it changes. So, what would you tell the students? What would you tell the students?
See, one of the important aspects of NEP is prep to fourth standard or fourth standard. Yeah, that is one section. Prep to fourth standard. Five to 5 to 8 is another section, another area. 8, 9, 10, 11 is another area. All these is very good, provided you take care of the students well. You do things as you are doing earlier. That will not help. You have to think new ways. How you have to think. The teachers, the principal, the department, all of us have to think in a new way, and then only things will work. Then afterward, you have to have either 3 years of degree, which will give you only an ordinary degree. You take the fourth year, that will be called, what is that called? We say
Honors, 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 honors.
honors, like what
Yeah,
we have in West Bengal, in
yeah,
Bihar, and other places, honors. Then you proceed to post graduation. Post graduation enough 1 year. Okay. After that, you have to go for your immediately you can go for your PhD. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait, and that is important. If you, for example, my younger brother's son is doing a B Pharma. Okay. After that, he went for M Pharma immediately. 5 years of studies of B Pharma and M Pharma. Now, immediately, he is planning to go for PhD. See, this is possible. If this is possible, one system, why is not possible here? There are lots of people who want to do PhD. Why not help them? Why MPhil? MPhil is not required. MPhil is redundant today. Redundant. You straight away go for PhD. And
but
of course,
yeah,
yeah,
just one clarification further. I mean, this is a conversation about the education system, especially higher education system. And I find that from my personal knowledge, I may be wrong. If you are, when you want to equate your degree with the degrees abroad, that means it's an equivalent. 4 years of education is important at the graduate level,
is a
and
must.
six
Yeah,
years, yeah, and 6 years for the postgraduate level. Otherwise, if you have
right.
five
You are right.
years,
You are
if
right.
you have
Yeah.
5 years, it is not considered equivalent to a postgraduate level in, I mean, abroad. So
Yeah.
that restriction is still there.
No, over here in India, this system is okay. But if someone wants to go abroad, let the person do 1 more year. If who will go abroad? Or the ordinary people can go abroad unless the
Ah,
government of India funds them. There are many students are studying abroad with the help of the government. I know it very well. Central government, state government, they fund them. That is there. But otherwise, who can go abroad? See, many people rush to Russia and Ukraine, other places, to they do their MBBS. Why? It is easy to get a degree over there, but it is easy, not difficult. It is very difficult to get a degree of MBBS in India. They,
yeah,
and not only that, after MBBS, in certain colleges, certain universities, 1 year, 1 or 2 years of apprenticeship you have to do with the stipend. Now, these are all important structures which you have to follow. Huh? Now, for example, if you have 4 years of BA or BSc or BCom, 6 months you give for apprenticeship. What is called? They have some word for that, and
Internship.
internship.
Yeah.
Internship. In the internship, they come to know what is their standard, where they are. Therefore, internship is a must. Do all the private colleges, government colleges give internship? No, absolutely no, because they have a problem. Who will assess them? Who will take care of them? All these problems are there. Now, if they give more marks, will it be okay? If they give less marks, will it be okay? These are the problems. This can be worked out. This can be worked out, and we can plan. But nobody wants to go an extra mile, and we need to go an extra mile in order to make this system viable in our country, especially in our state. And our state is known for higher education. Now
Yes.
I am in Dharwad. Dharwad is a place where higher education gives very important, and most of the students here in Dharwad, hundreds of them, thousands of them, preparing for APSC, UPS, UPS exam, UPSC exam, IPS, and many other exams, government exams, then banking exam. You can see them in all the parks sitting together and having studies. This is the culture here, and Dharwad is known for that kind of education culture. The same kind of thing can be organized in places like Mangalore, which is also an education hub. In Bangalore, of course, these things are there. In other places like Tumkur, there could be a hub. So also in Kolar, there could be a hub. And these have to be prepared. A higher education institution can incorporate these things into their system. They will say, who will give us the teachers? Alright, you have to plan. How do you plan? You cannot just think of the things that government has the right to, or has the duty to give education to the children up to 10th standard. After that, it is the duty of the state, and it is the duty of the individual to have higher education or other things. This is possible, and in our country, large number of people who are rich, they can help, they can fund. I know that, and I have done it, and it is possible.
Okay, Father. We are coming to the end of the interview, but there are two things I'd like to ask you. One is, do you have, can you share with us a cherished memory from your long years in education? A cherished memory.
The cherished memory that I have is when I had organized in Loyola Degree College, Bengaluru, a program specifically for the subaltern families students. That is, I was able to organize this program through News Karnataka, and lot of problems of these people came out in that. I know that people from all over the world watch these events, especially, for example, problems of weavers, problems of auto drivers, problems of vendors. All these things we found out, and then how they find it difficult to do their higher studies. So that was a very cherished memory. And another thing over here, which I felt so happy, was I had asked the students of first year NEP, going away from NEP system, asked them to go to all the vendors that are there in and around Bannerghat Road and make a study of their life. The study was really done, beautiful study they did, and they presented that study in the classes. And one of the staff members even was able to make a book. The book was not published. I hope it will be published sometime. That kind of thing should be there. For example, last year when I was in St. Joseph's University, I had an idea to organize auto drivers program. All the auto drivers of that area, bring them to us, because in the Western universities, the university should respond to the struggles and problems of the people. So
Absolutely.
I have organized that. I organized this karmacharis of the state government, no, Sapai
Yeah.
karmacharis. I
Yeah.
organized the program. That is how we have to respond. I am happy that this is my cherished memory, I would say.
Okay. And one last question, Father. As a member of the task force, or and as an educationist, both, what are
Yeah.
the, in a nutshell, in a very brief nutshell, what are the changes you would like to see in the higher education system in Karnataka? Briefly. Very briefly.
One of the changes that I would think that large number of students get into the higher education. That is one. Second thing that I would go away from the formal kind of education. 60% should be formal, 40% should be skill development. That change I want to see. The next one is that I would like to see is that teachers are to be considered as ours. They belong to the university. Not only teachers, all those who are working in the university or college, they should feel that this is ours. This is our college. And that feeling has to come to everyone. And at the same time, students also must feel this is our college. When they feel this is our college, they will support the college in future. These are the things that I suggest. I'm going to suggest in the committee. Another thing is that we cannot sit in the academic council, higher education council office in Bangalore and make the policy. We have to go to the grassroots. We have to go and meet every college in particular vicinity, call the principals and one or two staff members and have interaction with them, and then only we can think of higher education in Karnataka and develop that higher education. And I am sure I will be able to do, especially in my own area, that is Dharwad, and definitely bring out something special for the people of Karnataka.
Thank you very much, Father, for uh, being on this show and bringing your message across to millions of people who will watch this show. I think it's very important that everybody participates in the education system of Karnataka, both as, either as a student, either as an educationist, or a teacher, or a person in regulatory authority. Only if they come together, we can have a good education system. And therefore, this interview is very precious, not only to News Karnataka, but I'm sure to all its viewers. Thank you very much for joining us, Father Francis D. Almeida. It was a pleasure talking to you.
I want to have a last word. I would
Please go ahead.
always love to say hard work pays. Pays, PAYS, hard work pays. With this message, I would like to thank you for calling me for this interview. Thank God, thank all of you.
Thank you, Father.
Brian,
Thank you very much.
okay, thank you.
Thank you
God
very
bless
much.
you.